Oh, I didn't see you there. Of course I did, Sheep. Where are you guys going to be on a Friday night but glued to your TV screens? How are we doing here today? And I heard you guys like those Inner Geekdom matches that are coming up. You like Emma versus Keaton. That's a good match, huh? Let me stop you right there. That's not going to happen. Emma? You know what? I'm not going to say that. Keaton, you know who she's going to face? Adam Hlavik. That's going to be a good match. And then your lovely Emma, the golden throat that you all love, Emma, guess who she's going to play? She's going to play your new favorite, Mara. Yeah, you all love her now, don't you? She has one match and you love her. I know how that feels like. Enjoy, Sheep.
What's going on, Movie Trivia Schmoedown fans? And thank you all to everyone who watched the Collider Collision. What an event it was. I mean, crazy things went down. We have a new Star Wars Movie Trivia Schmoedown champion in Alex the Demon Damon. We have Mark Andreyko, who is now going to be facing Ethan Irwin in a match. And then we had a crazy battle here between Dangerous Dan Murrell and Andrew Guy, and quite possibly what was the biggest upset in Schmoedown history, Andrew Guy taking the victory. And we had the main event where we saw the champions of the world above the line retain the titles against the former champions, the Patriots. I have a very special guest here today. If you guys watched the collision at the very end of the main event, the champion, the Movie Trivia Schmoedown singles champion and the Movie Trivia Schmoedown team champion, the inglorious one, Samm Levine, had made an announcement inside of that interview that he wanted to talk to us, tell us something, let us know about something going on, and he was going to do it in front of a match, but we said, first of all, he's the champion. He should get his own special here. And also, we did this last year when the Horsemen broke up. We did a nice little special for that, and why shouldn't the inglorious one get his chance to address you, talk to me? And without any further ado, I want to introduce to you guys the singles champion, the team's champion, the inglorious one, Samm Levine is here. What's up, champ? How are you? Nice to see you. Throw that on. You can, Ian, you can put the hardware down, please.
Oh, this hardware.
Yeah, I know.
This is some unwieldy stuff.
It's good, though.
Yeah, help me out with that.
I mean,
oh, boy.
This thing, you guys are like best friends now. And Samm Levine, what a hell of a year Samm Levine has been having. Yeah, I mean, shoot, the guy has not lost a match. I think the last singles match he lost was against Dan Murrell in the Collider Collision last year.
Wow, you don't say.
It's been a year, a full year, and then after that you had like, shoot, man, was it 7 straight victories, 2 title defenses, and then you get the team matches. You guys had a hell of a run. You win the tournament last year in teams.
Yeah.
You just narrowly lose against the Patriots in last year's Spectacular.
Yep.
You come back, you beat MODOK this year, and then you take the belts from the Patriots, and then the Iron Man match, it goes down. Tell me a little bit about that Iron Man match. How was it?
That was great. That was something Drew and I were really excited about because neither of us had ever played an Iron Man match, and we both really liked the idea of removing luck from the equation.
Right.
That's, to us the most fair trivia match of an exhibition of strength.
Mine for mine versus mine for mine.
Exactly.
Right.
Like if we can come up with it and they can't, and if they can come up with it and we can't, then it's pretty clear indicator of just which team knows more stuff.
Well, and it certainly was that. It was a really intense battle because the Patriots started to make a little bit of a comeback, but you guys just kept pushing them back. Like every time they would make a little bit of a comeback, it was no thank you. We're going to keep our 4 to 5 point lead here. And then Drew McWeeny exploded out of his personality because it was like a demon that shot at him.
I've never seen anything like that out of Drew.
He scared JTE.
He scared me.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see that kind of emotion out of him.
Yeah, it was wonderful to be able to see him be that happy.
Right,
because he's a champ, man. That guy's incredible.
Well, one could say that you guys are, even though we know Kalinowski had something to do with it, one could say you guys were ultimately the cause for the Lions Den demise as we saw them break up at the end of it. And
I guess, yeah. I mean, it would have been hard for them to, if they'd have won that match, suddenly break up. But But yeah, it's if we get credit for splitting up the Lions Den, then that's a feather in my cap I will wear proudly.
Well, you should wear a lot of feathers in your cap and wear them proudly because you've had a historic run in this league. There's so much that you've done with the singles championship. You've got the team championship here, and there. If you saw, speaking of Snyder, who just lost his match right on the Tuesday, right before last week, we had Bibiani now taking on. He's now the #1 contender for the championship, and you had an announcement at the very end that you said you wanted to talk about. There's something that you wanted to say because what a year. Let's talk about first of all.
Yeah.
You had 2 title defenses this year. You're 5-0 this year. It's been a hell of a run.
It has. It's been the kind of run that I could have only dreamed of.
Right.
Honestly, when I first started playing in this league, for me, and I said this in lots of my interviews, it was always about having fun. I enjoy movie trivia, and then it just became about something else for me. Once I really started to become a student of the Schmoedown, of the bigger picture, of the storylines,
mastering
of
the
the
game.
characters, of the ins and outs, the strategy of the game, knowing when to use a challenge, knowing when not to go multiple choice, things like that. And I love a good game. I love good strategy, and so I really got into it. And I think that's when things started to really fall into place for me.
I know you're a humble person.
Yeah.
I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Are you the best of all time when it comes to the game? When it comes to the game. When it comes to the game. Not just trivia.
When it comes to movie trivia, not a chance. When it comes to the Schmoedown, the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, yes. I don't know that I'll ever be able to call myself the best of all time, but I'd like to think that I could at least be part of the conversation.
Fair enough. Okay, so let's talk about this announcement. So you're in the interview at the end, and you say that there's something that I want to talk about, and on Tuesday, and today's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
What's going on?
All right, like you said, it's been a year since my last loss in singles, and in fact, in that span, there's only been one loss on my record, and it was the 1-point loss at last year's Spectacular to the Patriots with me and Drew.
Right.
It's weird that I don't know this off the top of my head, but I think that's something like 15-1.
Or something
or since then. And when I started taking the game seriously, there were things that I wanted to accomplish. One of them, for sure, was winning the singles belt. Mm-hmm. The other was winning the team belt, and in essence, being the first person to hold both belts.
Right, which you've done.
Which I've done.
Yeah.
I wanted to win the Ultimate Schmoedown tournament. I wanted to win the Ultimate Schmoedown Teams tournament. I did that.
The free-for-all.
I somehow won the free-for-all. I was voted very generously Player of the Year. And when I had those belts, I said this after I won the singles belt from you. My goal wasn't to win the belt. My goal was to win the belt and defend the belt.
Correct.
Because if you can win it and defend it, there's no question, it wasn't a fluke.
Right.
This is a guy who...
And you've done it twice.
And I've done it twice with the singles and with the match against the Patriots just this past week at Collision. I really would like to think that we decidedly proved that we earned those belts fair and square, and they probably should have been ours the first time. If it hadn't been for those Titans, we just couldn't remember.
Right. Well, they did remember the Titans, or at least they watched you not remember them, and they kept the belts. But like you said.
So the question for me is then, what is next?
Right.
What is my next accomplishment? And the problem for me is that I just can't think of any.
Really?
And I don't say that in an arrogant way.
Okay.
I say that in a, well, shit, if I've done everything I wanted to do in the Schmoedown, there's only one logical step left, and that is to walk away.
Walk away with and give up both championships?
Give up both belts.
But, okay. Well, then I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because what I would ask you, and you might have a great retort for this, is that so right now we know that Bibiani is in line for this singles belt next.
Sure.
We also have in Ethan Irwinworth and Draco match. There are 3 potential contenders there. Right down. There's those guys that are there. If you look at now, we know we have a World's Finest and Shirewolves match. possible contenders there. So why not play them? Why not say, okay, Bibiani, you've beaten Bibiani before.
Right.
Maybe that's one of the answers to that question. But I mean, there's the Shire Wolves that are out there. Why not play them and then give up the belt?
I think it's because for me personally, I feel like I have nothing left to prove.
Okay.
And every time I go out there, I am running the risk of having epic bad luck, like, say, I don't know, to use a recent example, Dan Murrell, who just had such bad luck out there, and not to take away anything from Drew, who played the best game of his Schmoedown life.
Dan was off,
But yeah, so, you know, I feel like I'm avoiding disaster every time I go out there,
So
and
you
I
wanna
still
shoot that
walk
shot
away.
like Jordan.
Exactly. I want to shoot that last shot. Drew and I took a three-pointer shot, and we made it. And I feel like I want to do. I've been lucky enough to pull off a lot of firsts in the Schmoedown. I was the first to hold both belts.
First free-for-all winner?
First free-for-all winner. I think, was I the first to win both the team and the singles Ultimate Schmoedown?
In the same year and in general,
in the same year. I was the first player to win 6 consecutive singles matches, then 7.
Yeah.
So why can't I be the first guy to retire with belts?
I will make a correction. Mark Ellis also won both tournaments in separate years.
Okay.
Yes, been separate years, not in the same year.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, it always kind of stings me when, you know, somebody's out there and they're playing and they've got a belt and they're defending it and it doesn't go their way. And then afterward, what do they say? I'm going to step away from the game.
Is the passion gone?
The passion's not gone because I love the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Right.
And this is really more the announcement that I want to make is just because I'm stepping away from competing doesn't mean I'm stepping away from the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Okay, see, that's the question I was getting to next because there's two. There's two big questions. And one of them is because when you look at a guy like Dan Murrell, who took a step back from competition, and we didn't see him at all. He was gone. Now he's back. He's been. You've seen him in the scenes. You're going to see him. You saw him in the collision. We'll see him again at the September 8th live event. And then there's other guys like Mark Riley who stepped back, and you saw him around all the time. You're leaning on more of the Riley side of things.
Absolutely, towards the Riley side of things. I'm not going to be a stranger around here.
Okay.
I have, as I said, I've been a big supporter, big fan of the Schmoedown since day one. And one of the things I've always wanted to do is help more behind the scenes, more with questions and league stuff. And for very understandable reasons, you don't want any of the competitors meddling with that.
Right.
And so this is, for me, the easiest way to help be a part of that, to help shape future questions, matches, league decisions, and I'm really more excited about that now with everything that's gone down.
Well, that's fair. I mean, the other thing I have to ask here is because we're looking at that singles belt, and you made it clear that that's one of the things you've defended it twice. There's these other people now that what I would assume is what's going to happen here is that Bibiani will play the winner of Andreyko and Irwin, and that will be our new champion.
And I could not think of 3 guys at present time more worthy of playing for
any one of them would be interesting. But let's take that aside.
Sure.
This belt here, the team belt, is not held by one person.
No, it is not.
It's held by 2. So when you're making that decision to give up those belts, you're essentially making up that decision to give up the belts to people. Right. How was the conversation with Drew about that? Because Drew we saw the excitement come out.
Oh boy, did we.
And I know Drew, and Drew has talked about this on camera, and he talked about this with me, is that when I approached Drew originally, he didn't really know what the hell this thing was. And he was just like, you kind of keep bothering me about it, and eventually he did it, and Drew caught the bug. And once he teamed up with you could see Drew is as invested in the Schmoedown as any competitor that I've ever seen. He's really embracing it now. He likes being champion. What was that conversation like?
It was a conversation that was the linchpin of this decision for me, because if Drew were not behind me in this decision, it would have never happened.
Okay.
It was a conversation that Drew and I had immediately after our MODOK match.
Oh, this far back?
It was that long ago that I had started thinking about.
Oh, this is before you even won the team championship.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a long time ago about thinking what I wanted to accomplish for me personally here, and
You wanted Rocky Marciano it.
maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
And so after we won the MODOK match, when at that point it was clear that we were going to get our rematch against Above the Line, Drew and I just back here in the annals of Collider, I floated this plan to him, and I said, okay, that means we're going to play the Patriots, and if we win that match, we get those belts, and then I'll have both. Then I'm going to have to defend the singles against Clark.
Right.
And then I know Patriots are going to get an automatic rematch if we beat them, so that means we're going to have to beat them one more time.
You were going that far back to plan this whole thing out.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I said to myself first, and then I asked Drew, if we can do this, if we can get through the Patriots, and then I get through Clark, and then we get through the Patriots again, are you all right with this?
Right.
And he said 100%.
Right off the bat.
Yeah,
And
because at that point, he's like me. He's like, he knows if we could prove it, that we won the belts and then we defended the belts.
And you defended the belts and won the belts from arguably the greatest team of all time.
No question, these guys, they are, if there is a team Mount Rushmore for the Schmoedown, it's just their faces twice.
Yeah, they were champions for a year and a half. We do have actually Drew McWeeny is calling in here in a second. We're gonna talk to Drew, but before one thing is you and I, I'm lucky enough now that I can say that you and I we are friends, but we passed the Schmoedown and everything too. You and I are buddies.
Yeah,
I know how much you like being champion. I know how much that you enjoy. I mean, again, you're a humble person, but it's like the fan recognition, the acknowledgement of what you do, because I know how much that 3-4 record stung you.
It sure did.
It did, and now you're looking at a 10-4. Is it going to sting you to where you are no longer the champion or champions?
You know what? We'll have to see, man.
All right.
I don't know.
I got to ask.
Ask me tomorrow. Right now, I'm still the champ. Technically, until I leave this table, I guess both of those belts are mine. But as fun as it's been having them,
stretches you out a little bit.
It does, and it's gonna help me sleep a lot better.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me about that. What's the stress like being the champion?
It's
because I can tell you too.
I bet you can. Like heavy lies the crown, man, and even heavier lies these two belts, and I mean that literally. They're like 8 pounds each, and I am not a big guy.
Right, as where Drew could carry like 4 of them on.
Yeah, Drew could carry both of these belts and me on his back, no problem.
Should have done that for the last entrance.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a tremendous amount of pressure because every time I go out there to play, I have so much more to lose.
Yeah.
And it's I kind of feel like, wouldn't it be great? Because what am I going to do? Defend these till the end of time?
You want to go out on top.
I want to go out on top.
I understand.
That's exactly right. I mean, when Seinfeld went off the air, they were having one of their highest rated seasons ever.
You hit that, you literally, I mean, you don't want to do the Washington Bullets element of it, but you want to hit that shot like Jordan did and then take off.
I want to hit my last shot. I want to win the championship and then say, you know what? I'm not going to hang around and see if this thing goes bad. I feel real good about everything right now.
You're not punch drunk.
I'm not punch drunk, not yet.
I want to talk to your partner, the co-holder of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown team champion, coming off the victory against the Patriots at the Collider Collision. The Godfather, Drew McWeeny, is here. Drew, how are you?
Well, thank you.
All right, so Drew, we've been talking here. I mean, obviously you were part of this plan here with your partner Samm Levine, that he's given up both belts, and he says that you were cool with it right off the bat. So tell me about that. Why the decision to say that's cool, man? Let's just hang it up and do what you got to do.
Well, remember the way we were formed was sort of casually and accidentally, and never this master plan up front. So you kind of had the idea one night on the air and pushed Sam a little bit, and I happened to watch that and react to it, and the chemistry was undeniable. I'm very, very grateful that when we started that tournament, we played that first match, and it was clear by the end of it, oh, okay, this is how the game works. As a team, I can do this.
Right.
And that, it just immediately made sense to me.
Right.
And so winning that tournament was the goal, and we did that. And then losing the title to the Patriots lit a real fire under me. and especially with the Snyder and the JTE drama off in the singles rounds, and it really became important. So winning the title was the goal. We won the title.
You guys,
defending the title was the goal, and we defended the title. And knowing that we got to that place, and again, this conversation before we've done those two things, but just the idea that if we did that, then it fulfilled the promise that we made at the beginning of that tournament, and did everything we set out to do. And I'm like Sam, I have a weird year coming up, Kristian, and I love the league, man, and I love playing the Schmoedown, but you got to play with your whole heart. And the team thing, we did it. We did it right. We did it the way we wanted to do it, and we did exactly. Excuse me, I'm being stuffed in a wood chipper.
Oh no!
Yeah,
is Peter Stormare over there? Kick him out, man.
Yeah, so we did it exactly the way we wanted to, and I am glad it was against the Patriots because it meant something.
Right. Well, let me ask you this though too, because I just want to be clear here. You are not also stepping back and retiring.
I am not stepping back and retiring.
Okay.
I'm going to rethink my strategy a little bit though, and I have learned a lot being Sam's partner. I think playing the game from start to finish with him as a team taught me everything about the Schmoedown as a game. And he's right. It's not the movie trivia. Movie trivia is one part of it. The Schmoedown is a different thing, and I didn't get it until I played the game as a team.
Right, and yeah, and I mean we've seen you grow as a player, and everyone knew that even when you came in, everyone was anticipating what you were going to do in this league. But I agree with you. I think that you really started to shine during that tournament, and you could see that Sam brought a lot of your personality out during that time. But I also know from having conversations with you, the same way that I know Sam, is that you wanted that championship, that you wanted to be champion, and you became champion, and now you're not retiring and you have to give up the championship because it doesn't work to where like we just give them another teammate and then we fill that in. That's not how it works here.
I think that's important. I would not want it to work that way.
Right.
Sam and I were this team, and if I were to play in the team league again, it would be with a different partner and would have to be a radically different prospect. I don't know that I'm ready to talk about that, though. I had my team partner, and we played, and it was great. I'm now focused on, if I'm going to get another belt, it's going to be that singles belt.
No.
And I'm glad it's going up for grabs in the middle of the most competitive, packed, ambitious, hungry roster I've ever seen on the Schmoedown, because I wouldn't want it any other way. I want to fight for it if I'm going to take it.
I agree with you, and I think that you've got a lot more to do in this league. And I wouldn't, when Sam's saying he's got to step back, I don't want to see it happen, but I understand because, like he said, there's a lot of accomplishments out there. I think that we've seen a lot from you, Drew, but I don't think we've seen it all yet. There's a lot more that you have to do in this league.
Not even close.
Yes. So, the last thing I wanted to say to you, well, first of all, congratulations on the win against the Patriots this past Friday. It was an amazing match, but congratulations on your run in general. But is there anything you'd like to say to your partner before we let you go?
Sam, it has been a genuine privilege, my friend, and I look forward to whatever your involvement is behind the scenes, however you're going to make the Schmoedown even more fun for the people playing it. And I can't think of anybody to help better streamline it than somebody who played it with the character and the energy you do.
We call you the Godfather for a reason. You are one of a kind, man. Thank you. I am so happy that we teamed up, that Kristian, we were the brainchild of that call, and there is no better partner I could have ever asked for. So if you do team up with somebody else in the Schmoedown, they are the luckiest person in the Schmoedown. Thank you, man. You are my ride or die. And I can't wait to see that singles belt on you. And, hey, maybe even that team belt on you and somebody else from the sidelines.
All right, man.
All right, Drew McWeeny, thank you, the Godfather. And strange enough to say this already, coming after victory, the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown team champion, Drew McWeeny. Linus Babcock fan out there is holding his heart right now, crying into
Linus,
a cup.
it's okay. There'll be more matches.
Yeah.
There'll be more to come, Linus. The Schmoedown still has plenty left for you.
All right, Drew McWeeny, thank you very much. And bye. And so, this goes into the other thing, we're talking about Drew getting another teammate here.
Yeah.
At the end of Collision, Kalinowski comes out here, has Thad read out an announcement, and talks about the team tournament, which will now be called Anarchy.
Oof.
32 random competitors, all superstars from the league, randomized, put into who knows what the teams could be.
Oof.
Does Drew McWeeny wind up in that tournament now?
I sure hope he does.
Yeah?
Yeah, because let me tell you, he talked about me changing the way he played the game. He changed the way I played the game. He inspired me to make sure if there were movies on my can't believe I've never seen it list, go home and watch them.
That's great. So I think that you guys were a perfect example of how to work as a team and succeed as a team, because you guys did not know each other very well at all.
Not literally at all before we played that first match.
Right.
Yeah.
And so here you are now, again, strange to say, former team champions.
Right.
You are now, I'm going to give you a last chance. You know, to rethink this?
Uh-huh.
You done?
Yeah.
Done.
I'm done.
You're now, I can say, the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown singles champion.
Yep.
I'll ask you a prediction here. So you're going to have Bibiani, who now is going to find out that he's going to be playing, not you, but the winner of Andraco or Irwin. Who wins that? Who's our next champion?
Oh, my goodness. So it's Bibiani versus either Andraco or Irwin.
Correct.
Oh, man. I cannot possibly pick a winner out of that.
You got to pick somebody. You've played one out of the three.
I've played one out of the three. You know what? I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say New Blood.
You're gonna go with Irwin.
I'm gonna say Ethan Irwin shocks the Schmoedown.
Well, that's gonna lock in a Rookie of the Year now.
And goes 5 straight and wins that title.
It's very possible. Well, Sam, thank you for the not only for the honesty for coming out here, but thank you for what you have done to the league in general. You have brought prestige to both of those championships. You've brought prestige to this league from the second you joined it back in 2016. You've had a hell of a run. You've done more than anybody could have even imagined was possible. you started out slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be a rough go.
Yeah.
Where it was 3-4. You win again. 6 or 7 straight.
Yeah.
7 straight victories.
Straight.
That is a record. You've now won 2 championships. But one thing I will say though, one thing I gotta say, and I know that this is a little tricky now because of events that just happened. We're not gonna get Levine versus Merle 2. I mean, I gotta ask it, right?
Here's all I can say to that is never say never.
Fair enough. All right, so guys, I know that this broke a lot of hearts because it broke my heart hearing it, that we do not have team champions right now. We do not have a Movie Trivia Schmoedown champion right now. It's up for grabs. What some will say is the greatest Schmoedown player in history has hung it up. We do not have a champion in teams, do not have a champion in singles. What is going to happen? We're going to have a lot of questions now answered by Thad Williams, a lot of questions maybe by Kalinowski. Who the hell knows? There's a lot to go down. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to win? Who's going to be the next singles champion? Who will be the next? Because, again, what the hell happens with the teams now? Shire Wolves, World's Finest. Will that be the championship match? Will there be their number contender match after that? So much. Thank you for throwing this league in chaos. You and Kalinowski should join up and be friends.
We really should.
You just turned this thing upside down. Guys, I'd like to thank Samm Levine for being here. I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure you check out the matches this Friday. And if you haven't watched the Collider Collision, do that. Man, we have a lot to do here now. Bye.